Welcome to the Lights, Camera, Rant Podcast. Your source for the latest on movies, TV shows, and video games. Get ready for ranting, raving, and reviewing. Here is your host, Lee.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to the last episode of Lights, Camera, Rant for 2025. That is a wrap on this year, ladies and gentlemen. We are at the end, and what a year it has been for both movies, TV shows, and video games, and everything in between. I can't believe that this is the end. Like, we're at the end. Tomorrow is New Year's Eve, and time to get ready for what's going to be happening next in 2026, which, as I'm recording this, please do not forget to check out our next week's episode called Bring On 2026, where we are going to be breaking down all the biggest movies, TV shows, and video games coming out next year that you need to make sure to keep onto your tab to get ready, because it's going to be a humongous, yeah, I said that right, humongous year. So definitely get ready for that. Also, like to shout out to both where we go Eric Man 745, Brux Hatman. It is a lot. Thank you so much for tuning in for this episode, because as always, new episodes come out every single Tuesday, and we go live every single weekend to talk about the latest movies, new TV shows, video games. And of course, for this episode, we're also going to be reviewing Anaconda, which arguably could very much be the worst movie of 2025 I have seen. And it's funny because it's like, Avatar's the last film you'll be watching, and I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And you go watch Anaconda, I'm like, what the fuck did I just watch? That is my definition of that film. But we need to talk about this. We need to talk about what's happened the big past week. And one thing that I really can't wait to talk about with you guys is we need to talk about the leaked trailer of X-Men Doomsday. But I also do want to say Merry Christmas, and I hope you had a good day with your friends and family and your pets a couple of days ago. I hope you had a good day. Hope you're gearing up for New Year's, and I hope it won't be too messy. So get ready for that. Platino Macho, did you serve tennis? Yes, I can serve in tennis. But I don't know what else you mean by that. But anyway, but look, thank you for coming past. So definitely tune in, stay with us, because we're going to be ranting a lot. And of course, pull up a drink. This is definitely not tea or coffee. It's a little bit stronger because there is many episodes, which I think at least we're coming up to episode 240 as we're recording this, which is insane. Pretty sure the first 50 episodes of Lights, Camera, Rant, we were not sober for one single one of those, because that was all during COVID lockdown. So and had to do something, but definitely pull up a drink. But look, there has been so many leaked trailers of X-Men Doomsday. We did get the first leak, which was the Steve trailer, the leak of the Thor trailer, and then we got this one, which is the X-Men trailer, which has been leaked. And I've got to talk. It's funny because it's so hard right now to determine between what's a leak and what's AI. Like some of the old photos and leaks before AI get really powerful. You could like watch out, and you just be like, okay, this kind of looks legit. That doesn't look legit. That you tell that's fake, or that's from something else. But when you see this, it's so hard. I haven't seen any yet. That's good. If you haven't seen any, make sure to keep that. As I'm talking this, if you have not seen any of the leaked trailers, don't just wait until it comes out. Unfortunately, I'm one of those people that I need to look at this. I need to check it because I was so excited. We are less than 1 year to Avengers Doomsday. And which I was going to talk about a little bit later, not only Avengers Doomsday, but apparently WB is not moving the date, and Dunesday is officially locked in at this stage. we will both have Avengers Doomsday and Dune 3 releasing on the same day. This is going to be our Oppenheimer. Sorry, Barbie or Barbieheimer. This is the next one. 2 massive movies that's going to be dropping on the same day, right in coming to the end of the year, which is going to be huge. It's going to be huge. I'm surprised that WB isn't backing off, but look, if it can generate as much buzz and it can generate as much hype as everything did with Barbieheimer, if it can generate that much, that'd be great. That was a really good thing for the film industry overall. Because even if people, it's funny, even the casual viewers or casual people who go see the movies weren't really big on it. They were fully drawn in. They were like, "Oh, I gotta go see this. Everyone's talking about this." Mr. DJ Fly High. This man right here had an absolutely pleasure of coming past on his podcast and recording this morning. So definitely go check out the podcast. For that, I look forward to when that episode drops. Hi, Faye. I'm gonna butcher this like anything. Fazy Hashins 1013. You're so cute. Oh, thanks. I think that just made my day. Appreciate it. All right. Nerds, amalgamated. I'm sorry. Sorry. Definitely go check out their podcast. They've done a great job. They've had a great year, and I look forward to what you guys are going to be doing next year as well. You guys are a podcast that I do really appreciate the friendship and glad to be part of it. Nerds amalgamated. Yeah. Jesus. I can't believe it. If you want Mr. DJ Fly High, if you want to drop that in the chat for everyone else to look at, that'd be really good. But yeah, like we got that we got this trailer for X-Men. Oh, sorry, just going back. Yeah. Barbieheimer, Barbie, that did so much for the film industry. Like as I said, even the casual viewer, they were going to see Barbie or Oppenheimer. It did such an amazing job on just bringing more people into the cinemas, punching those tickets to go see these movies. That's what it should be, and that's what should draw people into this. So, will Dunesday or Junesday, depending how you want to pronounce it, will that generate the same amount of buzz? Will it generate the same amount of buzz? That's the biggest question. I'm hoping it does. Hopefully it does, because Avengers Doomsday is the penthold film of next year. Between Doomsday and the Odysseus, those are the big 2 juggernaut films next year. Faisal, your face very familiar for me. I feel I saw you in a movie or something famous. I wish that was true. Unfortunately, no. The only things I do appear in is Lights, Camera, Rant. So I wish that. And if it was any movie, what movie would I want to star in? Probably want to be an action film. That'd be fun. A comedy would be fun. Horror, playing a bad guy would be fun. I think if I was going to be a movie actor, I think my least picked film would probably maybe be romance. But action and comedy, probably 100% on that side of things. But Doomsday, Doomsday, we got the trailer for X-Men. So what it starts with basically we see Xavier, we see Magneto, basically looking like old man Magneto, if you will. And then we obviously get Scott Summers as Cyclops. We get to see them there at the school. We see the old signage on the saying Xavier School for Gifted Children. We see all that. Brux, Iron Man by Black Sabbath has been predicting Doomsday before it was even being written. You can't convince me otherwise. I agree. You gotta listen to those lyrics. You know exactly what he means. Trust me. And the trailer only goes, from what we can see, it's less than a minute, which all these trailers have been. But the scene, like Xavier and Magneto we've seen that before. There's nothing really like big on that you were like, oh wow, that was God, what's happening in that scene? But it's Cyclops. It's Scott Summers. It is seeing him live action in the blue and yellow suit and him removing his visor and basically shooting his beam straight to the sky, while surrounding him is a rubble. It's on fire, and it looks like there's giant feet in the background, which could be a sentinel. It looks like just that frame. Which if you are watching the video version of this episode, we do have that frame locked in. It is like there was just so much in that scene. Like there's just so much to break down. There's so much to be happy for it on what we're going to see. If it's true, that's the problem. If it's true, it's be fantastic. It's just like that will be the thing. Mr. DJ Fly High. Have you seen the Canadian lad breaking down the trailers? No. There's multiple people breaking down the trailers. I just really want to rant about it because of just that scene alone on what it can mean. And I saw a whole thread. It was a whole thread of people commenting about how this could possibly, is that Genosha, which for people who don't know, Genosha basically was meant to be an entire island where X-Men were freely to go and they could live in harmony. And of course, anything like in comic books and everything, harmony doesn't stay around for very long, which basically became an island where Sentinels went and destroyed the island, killed as many mutants, genocide, like massive X-Men genocide. For anyone who's recently watched, if you've watched X-Men 97, that came out, the new season that came out this year, that came out this year. Shit. Yeah, it did. Oh, fuck. If you've watched that basically shows you what happened. But it just means so much. And just overly, it's true. Like, honestly, if that's the trailer, I'm all up for it. I just wish, these trailers would just drop properly. If you're showing it in IMAX, they show it on YouTube. And of course, something that we are seeing as well, I did predict this would happen, is that the full proper trailer that we'll get for Doomsday and probably Dune, as well, will be Super Bowl next year, which I'm pretty sure the Super Bowl's in March. I want Sydney and Mr. DJ Fly High. I want Sydney Sweeney as Rogue. Look, she could pull it off. And whatever version the next X-Men film is going to, the MCU Marvel X-Men film is going to look at, and which characters they're going to have. It's actually interesting. Even though with the reboot, I actually thought twice about that. Even though in the reboot that we got, technically with X-Men First Class, X-Men Days of Future Past, which she was in that, but from the OG X-Men. But Apocalypse, Phoenix, didn't get another Rogue. And all that, surprisingly enough. But, we never know who's going to pop up again. And now there's a whole another rumor going around. Apparently, they're playing another Wolverine movie with Hugh Jackman, and I'm a bit like, that's a bit of a stretch. I don't think they're going to be doing that. I think the whole Wolverine is him coming back in Secret Wars with Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, with Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, with Deadpool. That's where I could see that all happening. Because again, as I've been preaching ever since Secret Wars got announced, with Secret Wars coming out in 2027, as I've said from day one, any wild theory, any wild character could appear. You're talking about Punisher with Thomas Jane, boom. You're talking about Nicolas Cage's Ghost Rider, boom. You're talking about Nicolas Cage appearing as Spider-Man Noir, boom. Any wild theory can happen in Secret Wars. It's all possible on where they're going to pull these characters from. Of course, one of the biggest theories, because of what happened in Secret Wars, is with Tom Holland's Spider-Man wearing the Venom suit, which would be so awesome. which hopefully we will see that kind of what happened after Spider-Man No Way Home with the last little bit of Venom that was left in the world after Eddie Brock's Venom left, and what that's going to mean for his universe. And of course, there's also a whole rumor going around for that MJ will be dating Harry Osborn. The Osborns will be introduced in the next film. The next Spider-Man film is shaping it up to be pretty good. And look, from all the rumors, from the casting, look, you need to simmer. What's the word I'm looking for? It is not going to be as big as Spider-Man No Way Home. You have to remember that. It's going to be on the same level as Homecoming and Far From Home. That's the type of level it's going to like circle around. It is not going to be anywhere near Spider-Man No Way Home, which I will give my left again. I would do anything to get that premiere for the next Spider-Man film, because that would be so good. That'd be so incredible to do. So please, the film gods, if you're out there, I'll pray to you. But yes, hopefully next week we get the official trailer drop for the X-Men that will be dropping onto obviously YouTube and everywhere else, because the end of the trailer does end with the X-Men will return in Avengers Doomsday, and I think it's going to be such a great send-off all around. Also, just a small thing to keep in mind of for anyone who is looking forward to the brand new James Bond game, First Light. Nothing really major. It has been delayed, but roughly by about 2.5 months it's been delayed, so don't you worry. The director did put out a little thing saying why it's been delayed. Of course, they just need a little bit extra time for polish, just to finish it off, so it won't be too bad. Like, that's always a good thing. I can honestly tell you, it's going to be one of my top picks for next year for this game, because this game looks sick. Actually, you've actually just reminded me I need to finish that off for my top picks before the weekend. But yes, that is one of mine at the moment. It's delayed for 2 months, but it's not too bad. Now, this could be interesting, how it's going to look, or what all the fun facets and everything, is that how Hideo Kamiya has said the fact that he, the iconic video game master that he is, he said that he would love to turn Predator Badlands into a video game. That would be fantastic. That would be wild. You could definitely turn Predator Badlands into a video game. It's got the full blueprint. You've got your side character to help you along the way. That would just take my money. I would pay for that. So good. That would be great to play as a video game with the high action, the whole world. You got to try and beat this, of course, monster that can regenerate at every single point. And you can track it in everything. And it reminds me, when I saw this, it reminded me of the old video game tie-in games. You know, some were a miss, you know, like Batman Begins video game. Some were a miss, but then you did get some gems, like the Incredibles game that was really good. It was really fun when you go through all these beats for the movie, and also all the extras. You know, sometimes there'd be new side quests and everything. Like that was fun. Or the Shrek games. You don't see video game tie-ins anymore because, of course, there was more loss. There was more ones that just didn't work, or failed miserably. You know, it's funny because you have the Batman Begins video game that was awful, and then a couple of years later, boom, here's Arkham Asylum. Actually, you know what? I'm overdue to go redo my run through with Arkham. Just right, yep, it has been. Last 12 months ago on the holidays, I did all 3 Arkham games, and it is time for me to go do them again, especially Arkham Asylum, because we all remember how brilliant that game was, and the fact it will be on the store as well. But look, so going back to Predator Badlands, I'm all up for. This would be such incredible. This would be wild. It'd be action packed. It'd be tense. So look, we got a campaign for it. If we want it, we've got a campaign for it. But this would be lock that in. Sorry, I was supposed to do anything. Also, I don't even remember this. Now, this is, I don't know why they're doing this. It is a sequel that I don't think is really necessary. I don't think people are clamoring for it. I think people just really just don't enjoy the original. Like, you don't really need to make a sequel to this. But yes, they are making Heat 2. They are making Heat 2. There's no release date at this stage. But Stephen Graham has been offered a role as a young Neil McKelly. Of course, it was played by De Niro. He's up for that role. You know, that's actually another thing to look back on this year is Adolescence. You know, that dropped March this year, and God, that was moving in the sense that everyone was talking about that. Everyone was talking about it. Whether you had kids or didn't have kids, everyone was talking about Adolescence. Here's 4 episodes of a show, boom, with great cinematography to the whole thing. So deep, so intense. It was just so good. Just 4 episodes. And even though I'm saying that, if you have seen it, I will stand by the fact I feel like the 4th episode is useless. That should have been half the right time. It should have just been an epilogue. It did not need to be a full episode. I watched that, and honestly, I think episode 1, banger. Episode 2, banger. Episode 3, banger. Episode 4, useless. You'd have to. You did not need it for all that runtime. Did not need it at all. But yes, just a reminder for everyone, Heat 2 is on the horizon. Don't know why, but we are in the ever of sequels, reboots, legacy sequels, and everything else in between. So the original ideas are out the door. Now, this is also going to be talking about sequels. And look, I think it's not going to happen. Sorry. I don't think it's not going to happen because of the fact it's making money. So currently right now, Avatar 3 has made $750 million at the worldwide box office. It's currently tracking, I think it's about the 6th or 7th highest grossing film. Hold on to that thought. It is number 6. I was right. So it's number 6 currently at the highest grossing movies of 2025. And James Cameron has come forward to saying the fact that if Avatar 3 isn't received very well, or doesn't make the money because it's very expensive to make these films, they will not make Avatar 4 and 5, but he will hold a press conference to talk about what it was going to entail. So he will give basically just a rundown of what it was meant to be. Has that already come out, Mr. Bucks Hartman? Avatar 3, yes. Heat 2, no. Adolescence Season 2, no. Avatar came out last week. James Cameron has said the fact he will hold a conference and talk about what was going to happen in 4 and 5. So there's closure, or turn that into a book as well to finish it off. And look, right now at this stage, Zoe Saldana has become the 2nd highest grossing actor of all time. Pretty sure it's at the very top is Harrison Ford. Then it's her. Then it's Samuel L. Jackson. Because of what she's done with Avatar, what she's done with Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy, Pirates of the Caribbean, and of course her other films as well. She's definitely earned her paycheck. And the thing is, it's not about how many movies she's been in. It's the movies that she has picked is fantastic. So she's done a really great job that these have been your picks on what you have done. So that's all props to her. So don't worry if you are worried that Avatar 4 or 5 will never get made. You don't have to worry about it because James Cameron will make sure to wrap it all up. Because there was going to be a time jump between 3 and 4 because the kids are going to grow up and be a new narrator with Sigourney Weaver's character. and see what's going to happen next. But yes, Avatar 4 and 5 will still get their closure if you do need it. Now, I totally forgot this was announced because I feel like it was so long ago. It was just one of those things that got announced, and then kind of next day something else happened. So Ryan Coogler, the director of Sinners and Black Panther, is currently working on a reboot of the X-Files TV show. I was about to say X-Men because we were talking about earlier, but X-Files. Currently going to be working on X-Files reboot TV show, which is rest assured the fact that it will be about different monsters. It will have its overarching arc of conspiracy going on. But yes, they are rebooting it. There is no release date at this stage, but there will be a brand new X-Files. Brux Hartman, really? Yeah, mate. Really. So again, like I said, we're in the era of sequels and reboots, and TV shows are on that, which is actually another TV show that we're going to be talking about a little bit later. That's also got its Legacy Sequels series as well. But yeah, X-Files. Look, do we need a reboot of X-Files? Probably not. But Ryan Coogler is behind it all. So in Coogler, we trust, essentially. So I trust that he's going to do a good job of it. The thing is how it's going to look in modern day. I'm curious to see how that's going to look as far as they do go modern day. If it's not a period piece, that's going to be interesting. Will the original Mulder and Scully get make an appearance? That's a different story altogether. But yes, X-Files fans, more X-Files are on the way. But in Coogler we trust. Now, speaking of the other show that got a legacy sequel, was that Malcolm in the Middle, Life's Still Unfair. We just got the first poster. We just got the first trailer for it today. The whole family is back. It's coming out in April, streaming on Hulu, so Disney Plus for us down here in Australia. April the 10th next year. It looks good. It still looks like it's funny with the antics of Malcolm's family, and it's weird. It's funny because I think to myself, I'm like, wow, we're getting a new season of Malcolm in the Middle next year, and we have a new season of Scrubs. So I feel about 10, 15 years younger. Remember the fact when Scrubs was on TV, and so was Malcolm in the Middle. But yeah, which the Scrubs one, I'm pretty sure that's Feb. That's going to be streaming. Good Lord, I do not want AI mode. Scrubs. So ABC and Hulu, yeah, Feb 25th. That will be coming with the Scrubs one. Again, if it's on Hulu, it will be on Disney Plus. It'll be on Disney Plus. There is no Dewey there. No, there's no Dewey. So I forgot that all the family, but no Dewey. He hasn't come back. But look, I don't know how much it's going to capture the magic. It's going to be interesting what it's going to look like. But I'll check it out. Malcolm in the Middle was good, but I must admit, I think myself and like a lot of people, I got to the point where I got sick of the mum. Like the mum got so annoying. The point, like I know people say, like for example, Big Bang Theory, people find Sheldon annoying. I found the mum annoying. And there is an episode of Family Guy in which I can't remember what the segue was into it, but basically it's Malcolm in the Middle. And the mum's screaming, she's going off, and the dad just kills her, and they're like, "Kids, we're free, and it's fantastic. And it's like that. How you feel? Don't know, Mr. DJ Fly. I don't know. I mean, it did well with the King of the Hill. Yeah, the King of the Hill reboot this year went good. Brux Hartman. How long are you going to be live? My family waits me to watch a show with them, but if you're still live later, I'll still be up here for another hour, mate. If not, the episode will be fully there. But it'd be great, if you do follow us on Instagram, great to chat with you more, especially about movies and TV shows. I'm all up for a chat, always up for a rant. Sorry, I had to do that, pun intended. But thank you for coming past. But yeah, the King of the Hill reboot actually went really well this year. Because again, legacy singles sometimes in both movies and TV shows can be a hit or miss. But we had a few this year that actually have hit. The King of the Hill being one, and I'm pretty sure the King of the Hill has been for at least another 2 to 3 seasons. In that sense, so I've watched the first 2 episodes of King of the Hill, and I haven't watched the rest. I do need to get back and jump onto that and watch that. But yes, King of the Hill was one of them. But yeah, next year we're going to have Scrubs, and next year we're going to have Malcolm in the Middle, which is absolutely wild to think about. We'll go. So this is a film. There's been no trailer yet, just photos. Especially the fact that this film is only coming out in a month. So we got Dave Bautista, Jason Momoa appearing in an Amazon Prime movie that's coming out November 26th. Sorry, January 28th. That's something else entirely. January 28th, Prime Video on Amazon, where basically it's called The Wrecking Crew. They're estranged brothers. They have to come together because their dad has mysteriously died. It's an action comedy. Take it as you will. That's pretty much in a nutshell what it's going to be like. I wanted to bring it up because I just thought it was funny because it made me think of another show at the moment, which I'll talk about, how the fact that it's only like a month away and we've heard no trailer or anything for it. It seems such a short window. And because the other show I was thinking about was Wonder Man. Wonder Man comes out very shortly. We haven't got a second trailer for it. Apparently all the episodes will be dropped. The last show that Marvel did that was Echo. And look, Echo was good. It wasn't great, but it was good. So it's going to be interesting that they're doing this again with Wonder Man, which can show that sometimes that means Marvel may not have a lot of faith in it. So, yeah, I don't know what that's going to look like or what it's going to be, but yes, The Wrecking Crew. So if you're a Dave Bautista fan, Jason Momoa fan, you got a brand new movie that's coming out in January, so stay tuned. All right, so now, look, that was some of the biggest news in the past week. Let's talk about Anaconda. Okay. All right, Anaconda. All right. How can I explain it? So this movie was on a budget of $45 million. That should tell you something. Currently right now, it's only done $43 million box office wise. It was first announced the fact that they were rebooting it. Anaconda, the 1990s film, iconic 90s film, horror film. They were rebooting it, and with that, got told that both Jack Black and Paul Rudd were starring in it. And it's apparently reported that initially that they were actually going to have this. They were actually going to be on different roles, the same roles, but Paul Rudd was going to have Jack Black's one, and Jack Black was going to have Paul Rudd's. But they switched it to better serve the film. Mr. DJ Fly High, I prefer the Gillo one. Yeah, trust me. I think I'm on there. As I'm on that banner as well, unfortunately, mate. And there was also reshoots in this film, surprisingly. But look, I want to say things. First things first. Big shout out to Sony. Thank you so much for the invite to this film. And don't get me wrong, this film, you get a good laugh. It is funny because you have these icons. You have Jack Black. You have Paul Rudd. There are funny moments in this film. I just don't think this film was the trailer did give you what we basically intended, but I was expecting it to be a little bit more darker, probably a little bit more bloodier. Going to be a comedy horror aspect going into this. It's not that much. Have the little split between so funny, but now we're really gonna die, and there is no blood in this. There's barely anything that blood because they really want to go for that PG 13 kind of aspect. Yes, the Anaconda is in this, but you very, very little do you see the Anaconda in the film. You only see it towards the end. We do get nice tasteful cameos from the original film from 2 characters. They do appear in this. The ones that did survive from the original one. So it's basically a meta comedy, basically a meta comedy in which they're rebooting Anaconda. Sony is also rebooting Anaconda in this as well. And they want to make it, but then when they go shoot the film, there actually is a real Anaconda, and it just didn't seem to blend really well. Like, it didn't seem to flow as well as it should. Like, there were funny moments in the film, but then some of the scenes, like some of the jokes, just didn't land. Or people were laughing and then it just cut. Or the real, when people did die, it didn't carry the weight. It was more of just a joke. Trust me when I say, when they were saying the reboot Anaconda, I was really excited for a horror Anaconda film. It would have still been good with Paul Rudd and Jack Black being in a more serious film. It's probably went a little bit too meta. And like, as I said, like, this, for the runtime of the film, it's not too, like, it keeps the pace going, but you can tell there's also reshoots. Steven Rogers, bro, you look like Skinny Pete from Breaking Bad. All right, I'll take that. It's funny watching it, and it doesn't really gravitate you a lot to get into these characters. It's meant to be a comedy in that sense. You're going for the good laughs, but it's just not a film. I'm like, were there rewrites to all this? Just obviously reshoots, rewrites in this film. Steven Rogers, just a joke, bro. Enjoy the like. I appreciate it, man. It's all good. I appreciate it. I know, trust me, I know how pasty I am. So it's all good. It's all good. I got someone the other day asking me what said on my hat. And I'm like, don't worry, it just says Mr. Rant. Doesn't say anything else. Nothing like someone else's particular hat that's also red. But with Jack Black and Paul Rudd, these are the main two guys in this film. Some of the scary moments, the CGI is a really bit off with the Anaconda. Like, some scenes it looks good, other ones it didn't really mesh very well. Just with how it looked. You can, being on a 45 million budget, you can tell the fact that this was it, but it is a film that will give you the laughs, but there's so much potential that was left on the table. I'm like, what this could have been. Do you have a background in critical cinema to be able to make these? Yeah, I can, 100%. Because my name is Mr. Rant, and I will rant about any movies, TV shows, and video games, the good, the bad, the ugly. Film is my life. Ever since I was a kid. And once you've seen enough, you can tell exactly from the good, the bad, the ugly, the real bad, the horrible. Should have never seen the light of day, or something doesn't gel well, or you have a film where script could be really thin, cinematography can be fantastic, or you can have one where the script's really good, how it's shot is bad, music is good. There's a lot of factors in it, or can make a good film to a bad film. And again, films are also determined by people's tastes as well. What you might not like, someone else might love. Other people might don't love. It's different to every single person how it's going to be. My main thing is just to tell you what to get in for, what to be prepared for. Should you go see this? Is it worth it? And look, if you want a good laugh, if you like the humor of Jack Black and Paul Rudd, you're going to enjoy this. I'm not saying it's the worst film of the year. I think The Materialist, The Materialist. It was the film by the guy called The Weeknd, that had, oh my god, I just saw it the other day. I forgot the name. I forgot her name, but he made a film this year, and that was really weird and awful that I left the theater going, I have no idea what I just watched, and I meant to break it down. But then we got some great. We've also had some great documentary films. So we got this biopic pieces. This year has had a lot of wins and had a lot of losses. Unfortunately, like for example, if we're going to talk about a loss, Snow White, that is bad. That is bad on story. That's bad on cinematography. That's bad on CGI. That's bad on casting. That's bad on promotion of the film. That is just a whole long list of bad. But Anaconda, like as I said, it feels like it should have been something more, like it or not. Okay, probably another way to call this is that it probably shouldn't be called Anaconda. You could have taken off that title and made it something else of another monster film, and it still would have, hit the same landing. But again, I feel like I'm not too sure if this was the right script that should have been proposed. I'm like, if you want to make an Anaconda film, they should have done something very, something with a new cast, new horror flick, make it scary. Like it's a giant snake. What's scarier than a normal size snake is a giant snake. And all this, even some of the suspense scenes weren't that you weren't really like, I never felt scared all the way through, or jump scares, nothing like that. Obviously there was a lot of scary for the first Anaconda, but it was dark. It was dark on how people died and everything, but yeah, you don't get this with a film. It's there for the meta laugh. There's a scene in between in the film that apparently was a reshoot for some stupid ass reason. There's a whole scene with apparently Jack Black's character gets peed on, and one of the other characters he's got pee on, but he's pee shy, and it becomes like the scene goes for too long. Like, you cut this. Like, why is this? Cut this entire scene out. Like, why is this even? Why is this even a thing? So people, I don't know. There's a lot on the table, I think, with this film. I think there's a lot in this film that just doesn't hit the mark for me. It's not what I expected to be. I thought it was going to be a little bit darker. But look, if you want it for a good laugh, you're going to enjoy it to a degree. If you want to break this down to the letterbox reviews, I'd probably give this 2 out of 5 stars going into this, because I know people obviously like that mark. Here we go. Landmark Network 33. Well, if you know, then maybe you know something. Well, yes, I do know who that is. Cigarro Leons, I do know who he is. But yeah, this film is not what I expected it to be. It's not in my top 15 films this year. But look, I was going to say if you take your family, but if you get to scared of snakes, then I don't recommend it, because they could still get scary. But look, the laughs are there. You can still smile at the end of it. Will you go back to this film to go see this in a second time in cinema? No. If you do miss it in theaters, if you just go watch this on streaming, does that still suffice? Yes. It does not need that cinema experience. This could have just gone on streaming. That's the type of film it could just go on streaming. But it's different to every person, what it could be. But yeah, I've always seen in the theater and someone goes, "Oh, it was brilliant," and give it a go, like 4.5 stars. I was like, "Man, did we watch the same fucking film?" Like, I don't think we did. But yes, that is the last major film for this year. Going. And look, I want to say a big shout out to everybody this year. Is that thank you very much for tuning in for this episode. Thank you for tuning in for every single episode. And thank you for being on the journey of Mr. Rant. Well, we've got big things that we're going to be talking about in 2026, which we'll talk about next week's episode and get into that. But I appreciate every single person that comes down, listens, watches, and everything in between, because your time is important. I do really appreciate that. Pantomimist Music 510. I saw it the other day. I thought it was a funny film. It's funny. It is definitely a funny film. I just think not all the jokes land, especially the P one in between, the P show one. I think that was, you could, as I said, you could cut that right out. Straight away, you could cut that out. And there were parts of this film like, really? Like, you have a whole bunch of writers around the room and people go like, that's a good idea. I'm like, why are people telling you this is a good idea? But this film, as I said, this film could have gone straight to streaming. It is a good laugh. If you go see it at the cinemas, it is worth that. It will brighten up your day. But is this going to break any box office records? No. Is this a film you're going to really remember for 2025? No. Straight, it's not going to hit that mark. It's not going to crush it. But look, ladies and gentlemen, ranters and rantettes, I want to say a big thank you for tuning in for this episode. And every single episode, every single time, I appreciate it. And as always, until next time, happy ranting.
Thanks for listening to Lights, Camera, Rant. If you like the show, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. While you're at it, leave us a rating and review, and be sure to tell your friends. Until next time, happy ranting.